Hi all, safe at home. We are continuing our class with the functions. Hope you have written all the other slides in your notebook and you have understood that. If you have any clarification, please feel free to message me or call me. So we're continuing with the functions. As far as till now we completed about the functions, about how we create it and different type of variables, the scope of variables also. Now we know that we pass some values to the function. So what are the different types of course we learned how numbers are being passed, etc. So there are other variables also, other data structures also used in Python. So we'll see how they are also passed in functions as parameters. So first we'll see how a string is being passed, and next we'll see how a list, how a tuple, and how a dictionary is being passed to the functions as parameters. So function can accept string as a parameter. So since string is immutable, you cannot change any value inside the string, but you can use that string inside the functions. To modify the string, actually you can use some other string inside the function. For example, you can create a local variable, string variable inside the function, and you can change it, put the value in it or change it accordingly. But the string that you're passing as a parameter cannot be changed. Why? Because string is immutable in its type. So we'll see one example. uh, See, this is a function to count the vowels in the string you are passing. See, if we'll start from the main function. There is a string named as message. A message will be given the string that you are giving through the computer, and you are calling the function count vowels, and what you are giving inside MSG, which is the string that you have created. Now that is being passed, and that is actually copied to the string str1. Can see the function, the parameter is str1. The message that you are entering through the keyboard is actually copied to str1, and it is actually counting the number of vowels. So for each value inside the string, it will check whether it is A, E, I, O or U. If it is either of one, the count will be increased and the count will be actually returned. So see the output. If you are entering the string the quick brown fox, it will be copied to message, and the message is actually passed to the count vowels function, and they calculate it and count the value how many times A, E, I, O, U comes inside it, and that is actually passed back. So when it is returned, that count is copied to the variable C in the main function, and that is actually displayed as 5. You can see that only 5 vowels are there inside that string you have passed here. So we'll say one more example. You are here, actually they are counting again how many times a character is present in a string. Earlier we calculated the number of vowels. Here they are counting the frequency, or how many times a character is there inside the string. You can see here, here also what we are passing is, we are actually passing two variables. One is a string, that is a message is a string, and ch is a single character that you are giving to check whether that character is present in that string or not. If it is there, it will give you how many times. If it is not there, it will say it is not present in the string. So you can note down these programs in your notebook, and if you have system at home, please try these programs and find out the output and write it in your notebooks. Now this is another program again to pass a string to the function. Here the main aim of the program is to give a message to the function, and that the function will jumble the message and give that to you. Jumble means if it is a upper letter in uppercase letter in the original string, it will give you the lowercase letter. So it's just flipping the upper cases and lower cases. That's jumbling according to this program. So the message is given to the function jumble, and it is copied as str1, and another function, another string str2 is created there, and the jumbled message, or jumbled message means the flipped uppercase values are converted to lowercase values, lowercase strings or characters are converted to uppercase characters, and it is stored in string 2. And apparently string 2 is actually returned to the main function and it is printed. You can see the program also. And if it is nothing is there, you can actually if it is digit or something, or space or something, if digit is there you can give some other values, space is there you can give some other values. So you can see some special characters also there because of that. Now we saw how a string is being passed. Similarly, we have learned what is a list. We are passing list also to a function. And you know that unlike string, list is a mutable type. So you can, what's the meaning of mutable? It can be changed in place. So which we are actually passing the list, and that list itself can be changed inside the function. So we can see how it is done. This function is used to double each value. You can see here I'm creating a list named mylist, and I'm giving it or passing it to the function double it. In double it, I am passing the list mylist, and the same list is being used inside the function, as well as the changes are done inside that function itself. And apparently it is printing. You need not to return it. Why? Because that my list, the changes are being done in that my list only, so you can print the corresponding my list. Okay, now we can see another same my list or list is being passed to the function, and this for another use, that is you are actually adding the value, double the odd values and half the even values. So one more checking is being done in all the values in that list. If it is an even value, it will be divided by 2. If it is an odd value, it will be doubled and given back. So you can try it out. And here is a nested list. You know what do you mean by a nested list? Nested list means a list inside the list. So here you can see the my matrix is a list inside list. It is a list actually having 3 elements, but 3 elements are list itself. So it is a program to pass the nested list to the function and print all the values which are at diagonal positions. Diagonal positions means here you can see when it is a matrix, there are rows as well as columns. So I inside the function represents the rows, and j represents the columns. And when I and j becomes same value, you can see that they are the diagonal elements. So it prints out the diagonal elements by checking I and j value. When I and j are equal same values, it becomes the diagonal values, and that value is being printed. And this is another function where any other list is also passed. You can just try it out in the system. Now just like list, you know what a tuple is. Tuple is also immutable. Tuple can also be passed to the functions. We'll see some example. Here you have a my tuple, which is a tuple. It is created with the help of some values you are taking from the user, and this my tuple is actually passed to the function count even odd. And count even odd function will apparently collect the values from the tuple, and it count how many even values are there and how many odd numbers are inside the tuple, and it will be returning the count found or not. So just try it out again. Tuples is another example where tuple is being passed. So you can see that if it is the value, if the value that we are passing is immutable, you have to create some variables inside the functions to work upon it. You can just access only, you cannot do any changes on that list, or changes to those string or immutable types. If it is a mutable type, it will be the changes can be done on that structure itself. So this is another program, a login program with the help of passing tuple to functions. Here are being passwords. So there are some specific set of usernames created for 3 users, and another tuple which is passwords. It is having 3 passwords, and what it is doing is it will ask the user to enter a username and a password, and these 4 things are actually passed to the login check functions. In the login check function, what they are doing is they check whether the password entered by the user is available in the usernames tuple. Similarly, it will also check whether the password inputted by the user is there present in the passwords list or not. If both are there, then it will print login successful. If one is not there or anything mismatch happens, it shows the login unsuccessful. So this is also an example for the program where we pass tuples to the functions. Please try to run it if you have systems at home. So this is output for the login program. And another next mutable type or mutable structure that we are going to pass is dictionary. The usage is similar for all the function that we have seen this in this videos. Even it is a tuple, even it is a list, even as if it is a dictionary, everything, the format is the same. Only if it is mutable, you can change as well as access values. For immutable, you have to create another local variable for working on it. Actually, you can use those values. The format is same, the usage is same, everything is same. So you can see this function where a list as well as a dictionary is passed. See, in this frequency count function takes a list as well as the dictionary. Dictionary is the D, and the list that you are passing is my list. So you can see that the function takes the list as well as dictionary, and it creates a dictionary with the help of the list you have given. So it takes a list, count the number of times a value comes inside the list, and then it prints the dictionary. You can see that the values that are being printed is the dictionary that you have created, and it is returned from the function. Now this is also another function. You can see function which takes dictionary, its key as well as value, and it is updating. It takes the key and value from the user and also dictionary, and these 3 things are passed to the function, and according to the key and the value that user is giving, it changes the dictionary that has been passed. So you can see how functions works, and these are the outputs. So that's the end of the functions part from hope you have understood, and please write down the note PPT's contents in the notebooks, and if you have system at home, please try to do all the programs, hands-on sessions, and note down what are the output you are getting. Thank you.